Welcome, industry ethicists, to another semester at Bakersfield College, and more specifically to Philosophy B100 Industry Ethics. My name is Brian Russell. I'll be your professor for this semester, and in this video I'm going to introduce the course, introduce myself a little bit, and talk about my experience with the subject and where I'm coming from, and also go over the syllabus. So we'll start by going over the syllabus. I'll also point you to your first set of assignments for this week. All right, let's start. So there's my name, and my office location is in Fine Arts Building 70. So the Fine Arts Building has two wings. If you're seeing art, you're in the wrong wing. If you're hearing music, then you're approaching my office. All the philosophy faculty offices are in the music building, so we can listen to music while we talk. My office hours are Monday and Wednesdays from 1 to 2:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:45 to 2:15, and by appointment. So if those hours for whatever reason don't work for you, I'm very happy to make an appointment to talk to you about this stuff. Since most of our interactions will be online, I'm really happy to talk to you and hear about what sort of things you're working on and how you're connecting that with course material. Or if you just want to talk philosophy generally or anything about BC, I'm super happy to meet you and talk to you. So please feel free to stop by for whatever reason, even if you just want to say hello. I put my email address here, brian.russell@bakersfieldcollege.edu. That's by far the best way to try to reach me. I don't even include my phone because my office phone is a really bad way to reach me. Just shoot me an email if you have any questions about anything, if you want to set up an appointment. I try to get back to those emails within a couple days. Since this is an online class, I give priority to my online students because this is our only interaction for the most part. So send me an email. I'll try to get back to you within the day, if not 2 days. And if I haven't gotten back to you within 2 days, just send me a reminder email and say, hey, I sent you this. You didn't get back to me. Please do. And I'll take no offense to that at all. Teaching 7 classes this semester, so some things fall through the cracks. So if your email for whatever reason does fall through the cracks, just send me a reminder and I'm happy to get back to you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the course. The course description says this: the main objection of this course is to stress analytical reasoning and emphasize clear thinking regarding the application of major ethical theories to specific workplace, organizational, and global business and technological issues that students are most likely to encounter once in the workforce. An examination of the responsibilities of the employee, manager, and organization within an industry context will take place, highlighting such issues as whistleblowing, environment, discrimination, harassment, risk, and safety. A key component of this class will also discuss the ethical importance of emerging technologies and their impact on society. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Learning outcomes, you're going to know the big moral theories, how to apply them to issues that may arise in the workplace. Explain the importance of various emerging technologies and the tricky ethical issues that they bring up. To get more specific on the content of our course, let's talk about the books that are required. There are 2 books. Kevin Gibson's Ethics in Business and Paul Dumichel's Living with Robots. We're going to be reading those in reverse order. To give you an idea of the cost, if you haven't already bought them, look them up on Google. You can rent Ethics in Business for $11.99. It's an ethics and business textbook, so I don't know, you might want to buy it and keep it on your bookshelf and refer to it occasionally. Until I started teaching, I referred to 0 textbooks again, so renting it might be sufficient. I'm sure you can buy it in the bookstore for quite a bit more money. If I were you, I would think about renting it. The other book we're going to look at is Living with Robots. I looked it up on Amazon. You can currently buy it for $20.82. You can probably buy it at the bookstore for more money. It's up to you. This one is interesting. It's a little bit of a difficult read, but it's not a textbook. It's fairly recently released and interesting. No option to rent, at least that I could find, so you probably will be okay buying this book. We're going to be covering them in reverse order. So this is the Living with Robots book. This is the Ethics and Business, an Introduction textbook. And we're going to be starting with the Living with Robots book. It's interesting in that it brings up a lot of the context that robots are used, especially in social settings. So when robots are designed with their primary function to be interacting with human beings. It also covers some interesting like philosophy of mind stuff, a little bit about AI and what that is, what we can expect of it in the near future. It's an interesting textbook and not textbook, interesting book and not uncontroversial. The author definitely takes some interesting stands on these issues. So we'll be going through that book first, and then we'll be covering some of the ethics and business stuff, some of the big moral theories, and see how those relate to the workplace. So I'll talk more about the content of the course in the other lecture you're supposed to watch for this week, the preface. All right, so let's talk about the elements of your grade. So there'll be 2 exams for this course, 2 books that we're covering. So the first exam is going to be on Living with Robots. The second exam is going to be on Ethics and Business. The first exam, I think, is roughly 8 weeks into the course. The second exam is during finals week. We won't have a comprehensive final. There'll just be 2 exams, one on the first book, one on the second. There will be, I put essay assignments. You'll have multiple assignments that will build up to a big essay for this course. I will talk about that at length in a future video. But to give you a little preview, it will be about an emerging technology and whether it's a good or bad thing for the world. So you can get started brainstorming on that. It will be 175 points, so it'll be broken up into at least 3 different assignments, with the final essay being the bulk of those points. There'll be what I'm calling a prognostic exam. That takes place next week. So a prognostic exam, I'll be giving you an essay question, and you'll answer that essay question. It'll relate to the content of the first 2 weeks. And allow me to get to know you and your writing style a little bit better and start the feedback process. So it will show you a little bit about what my grading standards are, and also let you know early how you're doing in this course and what sort of work you can expect to be doing. There'll be a number of quizzes throughout. There will be 2 different kinds of quizzes. There will be reading quizzes and there will be post-lecture quizzes. And both of those will have 2 to 3 questions. They'll occur in the course Canvas site. So let me give you a look at that. So let's talk about how you get to the course Canvas site if you don't already know. So you go to bakersfieldcollege.edu, you go up to Inside BC, it'll have you log in with your email address and your password. There will be a button that pops up called My Courses. You'll click on that. And then you'll click on our course, Industry to Ethics, and that will take you to the modules page. The lecture we're doing right now you can find in the syllabus review and course mechanics. And then you'll see it, if you're looking for the physical copy of the syllabus, you can find that over here in the left-hand column, link that says syllabus. And your first week of assignments include watching this video, so you're already doing the assignments. Nice work. And then you're going to have to do this preface stuff. So you already have some reading. We're going to have to read the first, read the preface, which is relatively short, I think like 6-7 pages, of the Dumichel book, The Living with Robots. And then you'll watch the lecture after you do the reading quiz, and then you'll do the post-lecture quiz, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion just to get the ball rolling here. The way the reading quiz will work, so you'll do the reading once or maybe twice. With the first book especially, I recommend giving it a couple reads, because on first read, the writer has a good engaging style, but sometimes I'm not quite sure what he's getting at until the end of a section, and then I'm like, oh, there it is. There's the main point, and then I go back and read it, and it makes a lot more sense. So you might want to try the same thing. The way you'll do the reading quiz, you'll read the preface once or twice, you'll open the read, and only then will you open the reading quiz. You'll open the reading quiz. Once you open it, you'll have 5 minutes to answer 2 multiple choice questions, which are about the big ideas in the chapter. So if you've done the reading with any care at all, you should be able to answer those reading quiz questions fairly easily. Then, after you do the reading quiz, then you'll be able to watch my lecture on the content. So while you're watching that, at the end of the video, I'll actually give the week's post-lecture quiz questions and answers. And that's the only place where you'll get the questions and answers. You'll have to enter what you thought the answer was when you open the post-lecture quiz. But when you open the post-lecture quiz, it'll just say, number 1, ABC, number 2, ABC, and you'll just have to enter what you thought the answer was from the questions and possible answers I gave you in the lecture. It'll make a lot of sense. I'll re-emphasize it when you watch the first lecture. But the way you should watch the lectures is you should be taking some notes while you're watching the lecture, and then write down the quiz questions, write down what your answer is, and then when you open the post-lecture quiz, you'll just have 5 minutes to answer 2 multiple choice questions, and you can do that just by consulting your notes. All right. So much for the quizzes. We'll be doing those probably every week. Then participation. Participation will be tracked via participation on the class on discussion boards. You already will have a discussion that you'll have to participate in for week 1. You see it right there, week 1 discussion. You'll have to usually post, I'll ask a question in the discussion. You'll reply to that question with a minimum of 100 words, and then you'll reply to somebody else's post, and you'll get 5 points for each, 5 points for your post, 5 points for your reply to their post, and for a total of 10 points for each discussion. So there'll be 5 of those throughout the semester, so keep an eye out for those. I'll try to announce those in the lectures to make sure you get those done. A note on replies. In philosophy, we're interested in the truth. We're interested in figuring out what beliefs we should have and which beliefs we should reject. And the way we come to the truth is normally adversarial. So if you go to a philosophy conference, it will often seem very combative, where people are just arguing in the more colloquial sense, just like combative, right? But usually it's with an underlying agreement that our beliefs are not us, right? So I can have a belief, it can be true or false, And if I present it and somebody attacks it, then don't take offense to somebody attacking your belief. Just think, thank you for the attack. Now I can either modify my belief to try to accommodate the attack. I can show why the attack is wrong, or I can abandon my prior belief. So take people's criticisms in that spirit, also give them in that spirit, right? So just because somebody holds a false belief, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. They can be a perfectly lovely person and just be mistaken, or you could be mistaken and need some clarification. So when you post a response to somebody's view, come up with a criticism. And don't just make it, you could word this better. Try to make it substantive, where it's the kind of objection that might make them change or modify their view, not just their presentation. Don't comment on people's presentation. Comment on the substance of their views, if possible. But we'll get some practice with that, and hopefully through a process of you turning in stuff and me giving you comments, we'll get to where we need to be. The way the grade is calculated is pretty straightforward. Those dates, I'm not sure they're quite accurate, but they will be on the syllabus on your site as far as the census date, drop without a W, drop without with the W. I'll update those. The way the exams will go, they'll consist of multiple choice questions and essay questions. A week before you have to take the exam, I'll provide you with a study guide on Canvas, and you will see the areas that I think you should be studying, and it will give you options that I'll choose from for the essay for the test. Now, since you're taking this class online, you have an advantage to students taking this in person. You can write your essays ahead of time, and then when you'll have a week to write those, and when you open the test, you can copy and paste your essay into the text box, and that's totally fine. I can't stop you from doing that. In fact, I encourage you to do it. I'll be expecting a couple of pages at least of content on for those essay questions. So I would advise you write ahead of time. If you're like me, you don't write very well under the gun, but with a process of revision, you can probably knock out a great essay. So I urge you to do that. Make sure it's your own work. Don't copy from anybody else. Don't copy anything from online or physical sources unless you cite it. I'm very strict about that. If you copy something without citation, you will fail that assignment, and even worse things could happen. So make sure it's your own content, but that's the way the exams will roll out. There's a little bit about the essay assignment there and participation. If you need some additional resources, there's a DSPS statement. Let's get that ball rolling quickly. I think the way it works out is you talk to them, then you bring some stuff for me to sign, and we all work together to make sure you have the resources you need. Academic integrity, I already talked about this a little bit. This course has ethics in the title, so don't plagiarize stuff. Or cheat. If you cheat on a course that has ethics in the title, you will definitely fail the assignment, get a 0 on the assignment. You'll probably fail the class, and worse penalties might happen. And we can talk more when we get to the essay and get to the test about what constitutes plagiarism. But just make sure everything you turn in is your own work specifically for this class, not from any other courses. Don't double dip. I didn't know it when I was going through school, but that constitutes plagiarism. Send me an email if you have any questions. All the assignments for the course will close on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. I don't reopen anything. I don't reopen quizzes. I don't reopen paper assignments. I don't accept late work. So make sure you get everything in by Sunday at 11:59. And Don't be like me when I was an undergraduate. Try to do your stuff before Sunday at 11:59. Like maybe treat it like it's due at Saturday at 11:59, or even better, so that you have a weekend. Treat it so it's due at like Thursday or Friday at 11:59, and then you have days just in case anything goes wrong to email me and say, hey, I'm having these problems, and we can work them out. There's a writing center on campus. If you haven't used it, I suggest you use it for this course. It's a free resource, and their job is to make your writing better, help you make your writing better. So in other classes, I require students to go meet with the writing center. In this class, I don't, since it's upper division. I expect you to be able to write pretty well. But if you can't, the writing center is there for you. I've had students go from getting F's in a class one semester to retaking it and getting high B's just because they went to the writing center consistently and got the help they needed. Other resources are there for you. All right, so then at the bottom of the syllabus, you see a course calendar. I suggest you print this out and keep it with you. It will have all of the assignments for the semester, including when various aspects of the paper are due, when the prognostic exam is due, when the exams are for the course, when spring break is, all the information you'll need for the semester's assignments you'll find in this calendar. So for week 1, what are we doing? Students should complete the welcome and preface modules. All these assignments close Sunday, January 26th at 11:59. Now this is important. Any student who has not completed these assignments will be dropped for non-attendance. The only way I can take your attendance for this online course is by seeing if you're doing the assignments. So make sure you do the assignments for week 1. More important than any other assignments you'll be doing this semester, because without me seeing you do the assignments, if I see you haven't done the assignments in week 1, you'll be dropped from the class. So what are those assignments for week 1? Again, you're about to finish watching the syllabus review and course mechanics, and then you'll do the preface. So the reading quiz, you'll read just the preface for Living with Robots. You'll do you'll watch the lecture, and you'll do the post-lecture quiz, and then you'll participate in the discussion, both doing your own post and responding to somebody else. So I think that's about it. Well, let me say a little bit about myself and where I'm coming at for this content. So I am relatively technologically inept, especially in comparison to other people of my generation and certainly your generation. I have, however, a lot of experience with philosophy and specifically ethics. So I'll be coming at this course with some expertise in that area. Hopefully you're coming to the course with some expertise in the industrial/robotic side of things, and we can have a melding of the minds and come up with some interesting conversations. So I really look forward to it. We cover some interesting content in this course, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. And I would love, if you guys want to introduce me to some of the stuff you're working on, come by my office, and I'd be happy to go over and check out some of your projects and see how it might relate to our course content. So thanks for signing up for the course. Thanks for bearing with me in this syllabus review and course mechanics. This stuff's kind of boring, but we'll get into the interesting stuff for the course, starting with the preface. So I look forward to hearing more from you guys soon. All right. See you next time.